Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker marry in Las Vegas, or do they?
What a wild time. I just wanted on the record that I sent this to Brett on 2 different platforms and I saw it.
That's how much you wanted to talk about it.
We have to cover this.
I thought it was interesting.
Yes.
I was, there's like this weird zone where I like to find like articles that are like, why is this interesting? So just them getting married wasn't really all that interesting to me. But then the second article that very promptly comes out like an hour later that says, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker didn't legally get married in Las Vegas.
Yeah. That
is interesting to me because that was the first thing I thought when I read that was like, isn't it like a hassle to get married in Vegas now?
When I didn't know if it was a hassle. You have to explain that. But when I saw the headline, wealthy famous person plus wealthy famous person get married in Vegas, all I could think was, do they not have a prenup?
Yeah.
Like there's
and they didn't.
They didn't. We've got that on here.
But they also said it's not legally binding. So like a prenup wouldn't apply anyways.
Yep. So it says Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker are not legally married. Page 6 can exclusively reveal. The pair, who reportedly tied the knot in Las Vegas after the Grammys on Sunday, had a ceremony, but there was nothing legal about it as they never got a marriage license. Sources familiar with the situation told us. They had a ceremony, but on paper it's not legal yet. One insider shared on Tuesday morning. Clark County records to marriage licenses and certificates also show that the couple never applied for. So it's really just another exercise in like weird narcissism. They're like, come watch us get married, friends.
No,
but
they
didn't even have
they
people
didn't have friends there.
taking pictures. They didn't allow anyone in.
I think this is the opposite.
So it's just them.
They're just having a midlife crisis together.
See, I want to I sort of get the midlife crisis things, but I also think like they are just getting married because they like each other. Like,
but they didn't actually get married.
Yeah, but like
they really wanted to practice, and they're like, I just love you so much. Let's get married.
That's the thing. I think they're eccentric. I think this is like the kind of thing. It makes me wonder that if they weren't crazy wealthy celebrities, if they would have just eloped in Vegas, right? Because maybe they really like each other. I'm not going to begrudge them that, but they cannot because all of their assets and all of their lawyers and all of their teams would be like, no, you can't do that.
Just a weekly reminder that if you're poor, you're weird. If you're rich, you're eccentric. Mm-hmm. There is a difference. You're not. It's kind of like the meme that's like, you're not ugly, you're just poor. Like you're not eccentric, you're just poor.
I feel like this is this interesting moment of like, they want to be impulsive, but again, because they're both like in their 40s,
they're not allowed to be.
But yeah, they're both like adult parents with children and companies. They're like, but we can't be, so we're gonna do a fake impulsive thing.
They're like what's it called? Like not cosplaying, but they're like LARPing, being young and crazy.
Yeah,
it's super cringe.
They're live action role playing what it would be like to be young and crazy if they weren't both multimillionaires with kids and families.
So before you said this like was a shotgun wedding or whatever,
I did not know what that term meant. Thank you. So can one of you explain that to me? Shotgun wedding is about
the
kids.
Girl gets pregnant out of wedlock, and then her dad goes
and forces the groom down the aisle.
You better get married. Yeah.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah. So the thing is, again, I have to give my disclaimer of like, I have no idea why I have so much Kardashian information.
I never know either.
But I just do.
She's always like, I don't know much about pop culture. And then she's like telling me these weird facts about the Kardashians. Like,
did you watch Keeping Up or anything?
I watched it like that first season it was like a bonding exercise between me and my stepmom because we'd be like, these people are insane. But I didn't like keep up with Keeping Up with the Kardashians, right? I don't like follow them on Instagram. I don't buy their products, like, but they just are on every level.
You don't buy
of
Poosh?
Pop culture. No, I don't even know what that is. I know it's for like lifestyle brand. But
you don't want to know.
But okay, but what I was gonna say is that Keeping Up with the Kardashians, after many seasons, has now ended, except basically they're just moving to Hulu.
It's just the Kardashians.
It's just the same thing, but on a different platform.
Yep.
There's big fanfare about it ending.
But it's going to be better for some reason.
But in the clips of like, they released a promo or whatever, there's a scene of Kourtney Kardashian. I don't remember if it's the audio says like, we really want to have kids together. And she's like, what looks like laying back on like a gynecologist chair, and like Travis is holding her hand, and it looks it like seemed to imply that they were like in the middle of going through in vitro or maybe getting ready to try for children. And so I actually, when you said that, I was like, well, it seems to me that they will not be having surprise children. It seems like maybe they are like, she's in her 40s and stuff, like maybe they're gonna have to be pretty intense with this effort. Because from what I know, it's been they have talked to their friends. It's like sources close to them say they do want to have kids together.
Yeah.
He's got basically 3, and she's got 3 already.
Wow. Wow. So that's like a lot of also
family oriented. Like,
yes.
it's not surprising that they would then be like, yeah, we're gonna have more kids together if we can.
I was
they're
also
wealthy and they have the money to do it.
I was also shocked that their wealth gap is not as great as you would think. She's worth about 65 million. He's worth about 50. I don't know how.
I think she's the least wealthy of all the Kardashian sisters.
I
Really?
I
I
have
thought
that
that would
here.
be Chloe.
Chloe
I
has
think-
like a couple TV shows and that Jean line.
Chloe, Kendall is the poorest. At least
No way.
Kendall
She's like a supermodel.
at 45
She made
million.
like $125 million like
I said,
modeling last year.
And you should never trust any type of like when you look up online, it's like, what is their net worth?
Although Kendall has failed to launch her tequila business a couple times,
Okay.
so maybe that's been hurting her.
And I guess if you count Scott Disick and Rob Kardashian, but of the women, Kendall at 45 million, Khloe at 50, and Kourtney at 65. So I don't think you're allowed in America to just make $65 million and go get married in Vegas. I just don't think it's a thing. We have from TMZ, it says, no prenup, no problem. Post-nup will do. Man, we live in a world where post-nup is a thing.
This is actually something Elon Musk went through with his first wife.
Oh, I bet.
He was on the board of, I don't remember if it was PayPal or
He
something
started
at the
PayPal.
time.
Yeah.
He did start PayPal, but I don't remember which, because he started a couple companies. I don't remember which one at the time, but they got married, and then his board was like, you need to have a post-nup because how your divorce results will affect the rest of us.
Yeah.
And his ex-wife has talked about how this was like, a big red flag for her at the beginning of their marriage. But
Yeah, it says it says prior to Sunday night's Vegas wedding, the two had started working on a prenup, but nothing had been signed. We're told the plan now will be a post-nup and should be handled without issue. I love the idea.
we're told, and then it turned out that it's actually not a legally binding marriage, so our source just lied to us.
I love the idea that they're just like, oh, I really want to get that prenup worked out, but I just love you so much. Let's go get married now. Like, nobody worth that much money should ever say that, even if nothing bad will happen. It just seems like a horrible idea. Like,
I am generally pro marriage, and I think that like having people who are in culture, even if I don't really love their lifestyle or their choices, who are like, no, but marriage is cool and good and we want it. Like,
Yep.
I think that can be a benefit, right? So, I mean, I was thinking about this today. Of the 4 Kardashian sisters with children, Kim, Kylie, the tall one, and then this wench. There are sorry, I can't remember their names. Kourtney and Khloe. Kim has 3 kids, Kourtney has 3 kids, and the other 2, one has 2. So there's like 9 children, right? Of those, only Kim's last 3 were born in wedlock. Every single other child, the majority of them were born out of wedlock,
Yep.
which reflects the statistic that I was telling Brett about, that 50% of all children born today are born out of wedlock, and like
Yep.
that's actually not a stable environment to bring children into.
because most of the people having out of wedlock aren't worth $50 million and don't have the type of stability that they
No.
Right.
So again, while I would not say Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker need to be your moral compass for all things, like I do think that like having people who are like, no, we like marriage, we like it so much that we're doing a practice run
Yeah.
of getting married, like it's actually not the worst thing to happen today.
do. Also, not just a regular practice run, an Elvis themed plastic.
He officiated it.
Yes.
An
So
Elvis impersonator.
I would love to have seen that. Like no wonder they
Well,
didn't
they
want
had a
people
private
there.
photographer there who took pictures, so they're gonna post them eventually.
Well, and Nick Jonas and Sophie, what's her face from Game of Thrones, right? When they got married in Vegas after an award show with an Elvis impersonator, because they're planning on getting married in France, and when you do your marriage license internationally, it can be way more complicated.
I bet.
why after an award show? It seems like the last
I think
time
they're all
that I
just
would wanna
around
get
and
married.
dressed up, and they can be like, hey, you want to come with us to Vegas? We're gonna get married.
There's something to be said about like being blasé about marriage. About like
I
the
don't
ceremony.
like that aspect of it. Like, why is it so casual?
Yeah, like isn't it supposed to
And as
equal?
influential as they are, having kids out of wedlock and treating marriage so casually does make people start to believe that marriage is just a piece of paper and it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, which could be damaging to society, or I would make the argument that it's extremely damaging to society to start to diminish what those things mean to us.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I would argue that both of these people obviously have clear views on marriage. This is Kourtney's first marriage. She didn't marry the Scott guy. I assume that seems obvious to everyone because
Yes.
he seems quite interesting. And then Travis Barker was married, and in fact, when I reference he has 3 kids, he has 2 kids with someone who he was married to twice.
Yeah.
And one of the children is her daughter from the previous relationship that he has just maintained his role with. And I think, I doubt we'll ever get it, but like I would be curious to see if they actually have a very I would be curious to hear them talk about what marriage means. I generally am curious to hear a lot of people talk about their views on marriage because I think it's such an interesting institution.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm like not opposed to them getting fake married in Vegas.
I don't know.
What are your
Call
marriage
me
plans?
judgmental, but like if they were asked what marriage means to them, I don't think they'd have very intelligent answers to offer.
But we have no idea what they'd have to offer. Like that's the thing.
Well, I'm looking at his outfit in this photo here, and I'm guessing that what he has to offer is not on the intel. That's just my guess.
I mean, it's like saying like there's been a lot of coverage of him when he first started dating Kourtney Kardashian that he was like actually fairly religious, and like you want to look at him and be like, but how religious can you possibly be? But like I actually have no idea. There's no way I could tell that. Again, I'm not saying anyone should use Kourtney Kardashian and Travis as like their moral compass in life, but I am curious to see this depiction of
the
marriage
Kardashians
in a
have
public way.
been nominally Christian in the past, I think.
Yeah, they all do it in different ways. It's very interesting.
And Kanye was, of course, very
much Christian.
Very much Christian.
Well, like Kourtney and Kim took their kids to get baptized in Armenia, which is like pretty cool.
Oh, by the way, this article is this it just shows you how fast the news changes and why you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Because in this article, which is just slightly older than the other ones, it says, "What's more is we're told that the 2 came prepared with a marriage license," which we later found out is absolutely not true.
We're making this up as we're going.
That's
Where'd that come from?
Hey, I have nothing wrong with TMZ.
I sent this to Brett, and it literally TMZ had a headline that said "breaking news," and I thought like, man, what fun being a pop culture journalist must be sometimes to be like, this is our breaking news. We don't know if these wealthy people got married
but
or
they
not.
could have. It might have happened.
It may
Who
have happened.
knows?
That's when you just start making it up.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That's what they do.
Sources say someone who sits across from me in the cubicle.
Well, that's like how damaging is that they don't have to reveal their sources, so they could just be like, yeah. Bob the janitor said that they got married at the Elvis chapel in Vegas. Must be true.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they're going to get for those photos, for the first photos of their Elvis themed wedding. But yeah, it is not super easy to get married in Vegas. I believe there was I don't have that pulled up, but there was like law changes a while back because of all of the annulments that were going on to make it less easy to just make that mistake over and over again.
Yeah. Well, the big thing was it was one of the states where you could get a same-day marriage license.
Yes.
So technically, Maryland could be the new Las Vegas because you can get a same-day license there.
What happens in Maryland stays in Maryland. So it says, getting married in Las Vegas has the spur-of-the-moment feel to it. We've all heard the stories of couples who have run off to Vegas to get married or even met in Vegas and tied the knot on a whim. Oh, just like
love.
Well, no, I'm saying like to me, like I almost feel sad that I couldn't live with that much whimsy. Like
you're not gonna bolt to Vegas and elope.
I'm not like I'm not gonna meet a lady named Trixie in Vegas.
Trixie.
And be like,
Well, sure.
let's tie the knot.
You could bring your own lady named for whatever you want.
I'm not going to bring not Trixie to Vegas either and get married.
Trixie or not.
I'm not going to bring anyone to Vegas.
Unless her name is Trixie.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I would never.
You bring Trixie to Maryland?
Maybe Maryland.
Just
maybe.
go to any random casino and you'll find her.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't.
But you may not be able to marry her in the same day.
Yes.
Right.
I don't have that much. Like, I am not like, it's like I'm going to be spontaneous, but I need at least 2 days to plan it ahead of time. Like I'm
gonna be super spontaneous, just not immediately.
I've got some spontaneity scheduled for like next week.
What about like small wedding? Like, would you want a small 2-person wedding? Yes, you and Elvis and
just
Trixie.
No, well, with my mom having passed, maybe that's more of a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, like
you want to bring your like siblings and extended family and stuff?
My brother and my dad could, like, if they want to come, I'll give them like a couple hours notice and be like, you can either get here or not. No, I wouldn't do that. I think I'm with you. Like, I think I'm more along the lines of that it should be an institution that's far more respected than it is, and that the decline in the respect for it.
I would argue that having a big wedding doesn't indicate that.
Okay, I don't mean
big.
No, I'm not saying big, but more involved with your family
it
and the
not
people.
making it this flippant thing, like while you're partying and drunk.
Yeah, I get not wanting to be drunk
And officiated by an Elvis Elvis impersonator.
I'm
I don't
not
think that
talking
takes
about-
it very
I
seriously.
get that, but there are studies that say that the more you spend on your wedding, the more likely you are to get divorced.
I'm not
right?
talking about the amount of money, but I'm talking about the care put into it as far as who you inform,
Sure.
who's going to be there.
How long you've
because
known Trixie? I
How long?
get ya.
How long you and Trixie have known each other? How have your parents met Trixie yet? Those are all important questions.
Yeah, I think that they're two separate things, right? Like, you could be very serious about someone and be very serious about committing to marriage together,
Yeah.
and also still want to have a ceremony where it's just you and your officiant. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's indicative of not being serious about marriage.
I guess that's just my take on it. I imagine. What about you? Big wedding, small wedding, no wedding?
Oh my gosh! First, I have to trap a man, so I'll work on that.
Crap.
I will get you some binoculars.
Oh my gosh,
and
the worst.
and like
My dad started telling me that I have to be trapped by a man. He said that I'm the problem, which I appreciate.
Thanks, Dad.
No, I mean, I would be happy to. I've only ever really wanted like my dad to be there. My mom has since passed too, so you know, I think having your family there is like important and pleasant. I know that there are some people whose families are, you know, not available for them, whether that's because they are not good influences or just they're not around and they can't be. I'm probably like, I don't know. Did you say this? I like err on the side of a smaller wedding, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, like, part of it for me is that I had a lot of opportunities to live all over the country, which is cool. But like, I feel bad asking like my friends who are just starting out in life to like pay a bunch of money.
Oh
to
yeah,
travel. You know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
We're like getting a little bit older now, so it's like less of a like you don't feel like you're burdening them as much.
Yeah,
to, like,
I feel less of it now, but like, you
it
know,
would be
if I
very
had-
hard for Mary to be like all her friends be like, hey, come out and come to this really expensive wedding.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, but we'll see. I also think that like every wedding, you know, really has to do with the two people getting married. So like if I marry someone who's like, I have 100,000 first cousins who all have to come to our wedding, so we have to have a big wedding. Like, okay, that's what we'll do. But
then you elope. That's when you do elope. If you have 100,000 first cousins, you
well,
just like F
if
it.
you're marrying someone who has a big family who they want to be there, like you probably know that part of their family, the whatever is important to them ahead of time. So
I
you
have-
go in being aware of that.
I have a big weak spot for like normie social media. Like it's like the so-and-so family, and like all you know about them is they've got like 9 kids, and all their skits are kind of cringe and dorky, but I'm like, look at how normal these people
Brett
are.
just like follows happy families on Instagram because
for you.
he's
like families and dogs and talking animal accounts. Yeah.
No, I look at people that make me angry.
See, like
because
different
he's older than you are. He's like,
different
I wanna
approaches.
do what they're doing.
I
And
don't
you're
need
like
to-
still full of rage.
Yeah. I'm too tired for rage now. Like I'm too. What about
He's
you?
100 years old. He's 100.
What about you? Big wedding, small wedding? I have to ask. I at least have to
Because
ask.
Brett's gonna plan our weddings. In
Yes.
case you were
Right.
well,
You're a professional.
if they're going to remake all the spy movies with women, then I want a male version of the wedding planner rather than Jennifer.
based off your real life.
Based on, well, not doesn't have to be me, but somebody else's real life. Yes.
I say as many family members as possible, distant and close, and then only close friends.
Excellent. So there you go. So for any suitors, remember that she said that.
Better know.
they better be able to reference this exact.
I'll quiz ya.
This exact segment exactly. So that was. I do want to see the photos of the Elvis. I want to know how good the Elvis impersonator was. That's what I really want to know.
See, frighteningly
Can you
accurate.
ask for someone else? Like whenever you get married in Vegas, it's always an Elvis impersonator.
No,
But,
it's Cupid sometimes.
that seems terrifying.
Can you
That's
get
awful. Yeah.
like a John Lennon or a?
Could I have like a Willie Nelson impersonator? Maybe
That would be
in
cool.
Vegas,
I would
you
be.
know?
I would be all about that. I would be.
Like, what are my options?
I've been rewatching Monk, as you know, and there's absolutely a Willie Nelson episode
I didn't realize that. I
Yeah.
haven't watched Monk in so
Where-
long.
where
I used
he-
to love it.
where Willie Nelson plays Willie Nelson in the episode, and it's great.
Wait, now I want to watch that.
Yes, we'll all watch that. It's fantastic. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.